Please hear me out, because I know what I'm about to say may upset a lot of stan culture Twitter. I got a haircut. And also, I don't think CallMeCarson should be cancelled. I've given you a time for quote retweets, no takebacks, you've missed your opportunity. Now I'm going to present my opinion on the CallMeCarson situation and tell you why I don't think Carson should be cancelled. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think Carson made mistakes. Like, for example, CallMeCarson quite definitely dated a 17-year-old while at 19, which is objectively not a bad thing, and anyone that says that he's a pedophile for that is a fucking idiot. But Carson did quite definitely seek out a fan to date, and Carson is definitely in the wrong for doing so. I think anyone that actively seeks out their fans to get into a romantic relationship purely because they're a fan is an idiot, and objectively is making a mistake and is in the wrong. You should not seek out your fan to date. And if you do date a fan, I think that's fine if you break down the power dynamic immediately or very quickly. I understand that there are relationships that can develop between fans and content creators, and I feel like if there is no power dynamic in place and it is just a regular relationship, I really don't see much issue with that. However, if there is a power dynamic in play, I see an issue, and the fact it is believed that CallMeCarson actively searched out fans to date, there is a problem there, and I don't think Carson should be able to pass that away without addressing it. However, I don't think CallMeCarson should be cancelled, as cancelled would imply that he wouldn't be able to get his career back, and he should lose his opportunity to be a content creator, and I don't believe what Carson did should constitute that response, as Carson did not actively prey on a minor, Carson did not actively abuse anyone, and as far as we can tell, Carson did not force the person they dated into anything illegal, or force them into a relationship they were unhappy with. That does not mean what Carson did was okay, but that does mean that Carson shouldn't lose his career, as I believe what he did can be learned from, and he can become a better person from it. And as long as he's shown that he's actively learned and changed from that, I believe he should be given a second opportunity as a content creator, and it would appear most people agree with me given the response to his response. But before I delve into that, if you could consider subscribing to the channel, as I know this video is going to get probably bombarded with a lot of hate. If this video doesn't have at least a 95% ratio or lower, I'd be incredibly surprised. It's possible that I'm being cancelled right now on Twitter for this video, and in which case, I'm sorry in the future. Whatever I did wrong, I mean the apology, just like every other content creator means their apologies when they make them. I'm gonna fuck myself when I make a response apologizing for this video, aren't I? If I actually do apologize for this video, I probably do mean it. I'm clearing all of my defenses right now before I get cancelled. Also, feel free to check out my Twitter down below if you'd like to support me over there, as I share my opinions on more situations, and that's probably where my response will be released if I do make it. Yes, I'm still going with that joke. But I would appreciate if you could subscribe the most, as I'm aiming for 50k by the end of the year, and that goal is only attainable with your support, and we're incredibly close now. YouTube did a sub purge yesterday, which scared me, thought I probably wouldn't reach it, but then they all came back, so no worries, we're okay. Everything's fine. So today's video is going to recap you on the CallMeCarson situation and give my opinion on it based on the current information. If you disagree with me, that's fine. So as a recap on the CallMeCarson situation, CallMeCarson was 19 when they reached out to a 17-year-old to date, which in itself is not a problem. I don't see an issue with a 17-year-old and 19-year-old dating. Most people understand that a 2-year age gap is not really a problem. However, that person was a fan that Carson had actively chose to date because they're a fan, and as far as I can tell, the power dynamic in that relationship was not broken down, though there may be evidence that would support the contrary argument, and as such, it may be fair to say that CallMeCarson wasn't in the wrong. Though, as of my current presumption, Carson is in the wrong for seeking out a fan that was underage, and actively choosing to not break down the power dynamic in that relationship, though, as far as we can tell, the fan wasn't forced into doing anything, so it's not necessarily a predatory or criminal relationship, but it is one where Carson took advantage of a power dynamic to some extent. And Carson was called out, rightfully so, by a lot of his content creator friends, including Jay Schlatt and others, who said they'd tried to get Carson out of this and tried to get him help, but he hadn't actually changed, and Carson had continued this behavior to the point where they felt the need to call him out for it, which is valid, and I respect them doing so because it seems that Carson has changed from it. And as such, it made sense that Carson made a response. Now, initially, he made a lackluster response, just saying that everything presented was true, and really just saying it was gross, which I can't disagree with him on. But at the time, he hadn't seemingly learned from what he'd done, and as such, he decided to take a break from the internet, until very recently when he reappeared on a stream where Twitter went nuts, mainly because Carson didn't address the situation, Carson didn't give his side to the situation, Carson didn't explain his innocence, Carson didn't give contrary arguments, and instead he basically just joked about it and said, "Hi Twitter," and he knew that Twitter was going to go crazy about this, which I can't necessarily say was a response in any matter of the word, and I don't really think he should have been called out for that necessarily. I saw a lot of people saying he hadn't learned from the situation because he said that, but I really think they were throwaway gags and not something to really care about. That being said, Carson's new video, moving forward, is definitely something to care about. as he directly addresses the whole situation, and while he doesn't apologize for the situation, he does give his future plans, which I think is fair. And it's also quite clear from the video that he has seemingly learned from the situation and has seemingly changed as a person, though I think the fact he took so long as a break, not just disappearing for a month or two, and decided to take a break for that long where he seemingly reflected, got himself help, and he seems to be in a better place now. Carson's response seems to show him actively changing, and I'll play that to you now.
Hey guys, it's been a while. This isn't going to be your average YouTuber apology video, and I'm not going to make it long and drawn out. I've learned a lot this past year. I'm not seeking forgiveness, nor am I looking to make excuses. I'm sure some of you are expecting some long drawn out video explaining my truth of the situation, but I have no intentions of doing that. I'd much rather just tell you what I can do in the future. For the next year, I plan to donate 100% of my profits to charity, with a different charity being the focus each month. Now, before you start thinking of this as an excuse to sweep things under the rug, that's not what this is. I'm doing this because I want to turn a negative situation with a lot of eyes on it into something positive that can help a lot of people. I'm going to officially come back to streaming on September 1st at twitch.tv/CallMeCarson live, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about how this year of charity will work. I'm not going to answer any specifics of the situation with me, nor am I going to do anything to cause any more drama than there already is. Genuinely, I just want to do my own thing and raise money for some people that need it more than me. You can find out more about this year of charity, or YOC as I'm calling it, at callmecarson.live, which is linked down below. That's where me and my team will be updating it with blog posts each month. But yeah, that's about it. I hope to see you there on the 1st, and yeah.
Carson's response, by self-admission, does not really address much of the situation, but to be honest, it really didn't need to. Not only would addressing it bring back the drama and cause more attention to the situation that would really benefit nobody, as Carson really does not need to release a response, as he can continue making content without stress, to be honest. Even though there are people that dislike him, overall, he has a positive reception to who he is, and if he was to make another response going more in depth on the situation, explaining every ins and outs of it, it would just get responded to the same way, to be honest. People that want to take Carson's side, or trust Carson, or believe Carson's changed, will listen to him, and will take this response as it is, and people that don't like him won't. There really isn't much crossover or skepticism here on the situation, and I think most people know that if Carson was to respond, he'd basically admit as much as he already has, and it's already generally understood that Carson has taken the efforts to learn and change with going through therapy, and as such, it makes sense that he'd just decide, instead of actually causing more issues by coming back, he'd just use his return as an opportunity to support a charity and make help for other people instead of making the situation about himself, and therefore he can return after getting himself the help he needs in a relatively seamless fashion without reviving a drama and without causing more stress to the people involved. I think that while some people will be annoyed that he didn't respond to the situation and give his own side to the situation, I think most people understand that him doing so would benefit nobody, and it's much easier this way for him to come back and for everyone else involved, as he's already apologized to the victims in private, and while I do think he should apologize to the friends he hurt and the people he hurt in private, the public isn't really owed an apology, and whatever else needs to be done should be done off the camera. I think this response really shows how Carson's matured, Carson's learned, and hopefully how Carson's changed from the situation, and I do think this was the best decision overall when weighing up the pros and cons. But you're free to have your own opinions, and I'd love to hear them down below. With that being said, I will end this video here. Thank you for watching to the end if you did. Comment Carson is cringe if you did watch to the end, and also feel free to check out some of my other videos down below. Also feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to support me. I'm aiming for 50k by the end of the year, 800 away. I hope that you do consider subscribing after seeing this video, as these videos take a lot of work. And also feel free to check out my Twitter down below if you'd like to see my opinions on subjects that really don't matter. And also feel free to check out my Instagram down below if you'd like to see more photos of me. That being said, if you'd like to fund these videos, feel free to check out my Patreon down below. I'd appreciate any financial support. And also it would just be nice to have some more people that fund these videos and allow me to rest comfortably even when I have to take a break. Not sure if there'll be a video tomorrow, because I do have some personal things that I need to attend to. And with that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with a nigga like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with a nigga like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with a nigga like me.